What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 90. Can you believe it, guys? 90 fucking episodes.
Can't
It's
believe
wild.
it, man.
It's fucking wild. Wild. But
Wow,
Bro,
West.
we've made it
Smith?
through more episodes than 9/10 of the population lives
that's true.
these days.
That's true. If you listen
Yeah.
to one episode a year, you will be dead before you most likely will be dead before you be able to get the
I mean, we're still making episodes, so like, I mean,
yeah. So, but you know what's crazy?
sorry to bring that up. That was a little dark. Sorry.
A little
know,
morbid, but hey, that's fine. We've had weirder starts to the podcast before.
That's true. That's true.
Let's just talk about your penis again, shall we?
Hey,
Yeah.
great. Well,
Alrighty,
there
now
goes
we're
our
already
TikTok.
demonetized.
Yep.
Yeah, there
we
goes
go.
TikTok.
What's crazier is that the four of us are back together. Like, this is not, I feel like this has been
For
it's
a
been-
week.
Don't jinx it. Yeah,
Well,
I was
yeah,
gonna say.
That's because I
We're
think
here.
not a week, right? 2 weeks or no, is somebody else going on vacation? I mean, Enigma can never
I
go on
think
vacation.
you're out
He's
next
not
week,
allowed.
aren't you?
No,
I think the
no,
next
2 weeks.
vacation is you. So yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Can I just say something that's really bugging me is your little logo, and I don't know if you've announced this yet, but it's off from all of our other little logos.
Well, okay, yes. So
you
I
have
was
to be special.
no, because trying to modify that to make it look like in the gold and stuff like that, I actually am like, you know what? I'm just changing all these fucking logos. So
You know what?
one
Then,
of the
then
projects,
give me
one of the projects
then give
I'm
me
gonna
all
do.
of them.
No,
Give me all
no,
of mine
I am
because I'm
not-
streaming
I
on
am not
Twitch,
doing
Kick,
that.
and YouTube. Okay.
I am not going through and fucking modifying everybody's things, but I will go through and modify your primary logos to the matching color of that, because it was a pain in the ass, and also when you change the color of the kick symbol to the gold, it doesn't look right. So it just, you can't tell what it is. It just looks like a fucking yellow blob.
Just a
but
coin, like a
yeah, like a fucking Bitcoin.
yeah.
So
It's
which
your new
maybe
crypto.
makes sense. That's where the money for kick comes from. Is
Yeah.
Makes
Bitcoin,
sense.
So.
Yeah.
But how's everybody doing? Welcome in. If you are joining us live, we are here on YouTube as well as Twitch. Come by and hang out and join in the live chat. And if you're not joining us live, well, you can go to anchor.fm/prepatch podcast or your favorite podcasting app to listen to wherever you want to, whether it be in the bed and during some spicy moments. That's my goal. I want to be someone's spicy moment podcast, like in the middle of it.
Whoopee podcast,
Yeah, right? In the middle of it, just have that playing in the background. That's my goal. If I can get that, then I have succeeded as a podcast.
That might be an option for like the After Dark podcast, like the
Yeah,
Patreon
sure.
podcast. Maybe
I don't know why, but I
just-
feel like Sin already does this though.
Oh, absolutely.
Listens
If you
to his own podcast.
if you don't think that I don't have one of my streams playing in the background while I'm just rubbing
Yeah.
one out, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just-
there we go on TikTok again.
It's just the highlights of Sin. Too.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely,
himself.
man. Just for sure, absolutely. So you don't want to know what happens when I bust it. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Oh.
Anyway, episode
How does this
90.
always happen?
I'm happy to have the crew back. This week was actually kind of light when it came to news. We were I was actually kind of surprised, right? Like I would have figured that normally we get quite a bit of news, but this week was actually a little bit on the lighter side. But we've got a great show. We've got a lot, there's stuff to talk about. I don't say there's a whole lot to talk about, but there is some juicy topics to talk about, and yeah, so it's going to be a fun time.
Juicy.
So we kick in every single episode with, well, what is going on with the platforms. So let me make sure that I've got everybody going. Here, hold on one sec, because I've got Bill's beautiful stream in my face. There we go. So Twitch actually, they had TwitchCon Paris or TwitchCon EU. I was actually, I don't know about you guys, but I was really worried that it wasn't going to happen, because like all the things that were going down in Paris and all the riots.
Riots and shit.
That shit looked like something straight out of like Mad Max and like,
It
20
was
days
crazy, dude.
later.
And the biggest loss of all that stuff was that library that burned down with all of that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
like,
Oh, that's too bad.
anytime libraries get burned down, it makes me sad. I understand like ebooks are the thing now, but that's so much history just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but they still went forward with it, and they ended up having quite a bit of news come out of it. One of which was this, which is essentially them adding in a new feature kind of called stories or something like I think it's called is it called stories or is it's like
Stories
stories.
is the
It's
Snapchat
like
thing, so it's
stories.
like
Yeah, I
stories.
don't know
like
what
everything
exactly
has
they're
like
calling
stories
it.
now. It's like 24-hour like segmented like little highlights that you can post, I believe, if it works as other story
Yeah,
do on like
so
Snapchat, Instagram.
they have like a preview of it. We'll take a look here and watch this preview of this.
It's they're rolling out a discovery feed. I don't know if that's what they're calling it right now, but
I think that's a new. I think that's something else entirely.
So this is I don't know I don't.
What is unique about Twitch Stories is
Wow,
its
that is
reach
in one
and who you
side of
can
my
connect
ear.
to.
I don't know if
You'll
Twitch
be
can
able to
or
directly
the stream
update
can hear
your
it.
stories to all your followers.
But
it's too big.
Yeah, it's a little big.
oh, is it? Is it getting cut off?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Little bit.
We'll bring it down here. So anyway, I mean, essentially, it looks like this, and what they're doing is allowing you to upload these moments or stories or whatever they're going to call it to your Twitter or you're not Twitter, your Twitch feed, and then I guess people can see it and view it just like they would a Snapchat story or something. I don't know.
It honestly looks just like Instagram stories.
Yeah, it does look like Instagram stories. I hope to hell that this is the start of them actually taking interest in their mobile app, because their mobile app is still garbage.
No, I think it's a step forward on their mobile app, but it's also a step we've been talking the last few podcasts about the fact that we wish that Twitch would give a way to like give you more discoverability through your clips, like YouTube does on Shorts, right? And I think this is their like first step in that direction. I think they still need to do a little bit of work on it, because like I don't personally use the mobile app. I don't know too many people that do use the mobile app. Maybe that's because
not
the
many
mobile app is
because
trash in the first place.
trash.
But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, is this only for
I think so. Yeah.
That looks well.
It was in vertical profiles, so if it's not, it's going to be like a weird vertical thing. I also don't know how this is actually like, is there going to be a feed specifically for this, or is this just going to be something that kind of rolls through for people that you followed? So like you have your follow list, and then you can go and like see like all the moments from the people that you follow.
My best guess is this is going to all be grouped together with their Discover page or whatever they call it.
That's what I was about to say. It's the discovery feed.
Yeah,
that's what
they're probably going to have it set up honestly just like how kind of like Instagram / like TikTok does it, where like stories are at the top and then you can scroll down through clips, because we kind of saw it there a little bit. And I'm guessing my best guess is that you're only going to be able to make or edit stories on mobile, but you'll probably be able to view them on both mobile and
these
Twitch.
Announcements can be made directly on the site, ensuring that that they can reliably communicate with all of their followers in just a single
Maybe
click.
so. I don't know.
I mean, I think
that'd be cool.
The only thing that I see here though, where I wish that I would add to this, is the ability that it would go to more. Maybe that's the next step of this like integration, where they're like, hey, you're gonna be able to create stories, but we're also going to drive these stories to like a recommended section again, just like Shorts, where like, you know, I have, you know, we see it too, like we see a lot of subscribers come through our Shorts, you know, where it's a thing where like, oh cool, like I just saw your story, let me follow your channel for discoverability. And maybe
I thought that was how this was going to work.
Well,
so this is coming from TechCrunch. It says the company announced the Discovery feed along with a slew of other features during the weekend opening ceremony on Twitch. The new features revolve around supporting short form video content. The Discovery feed will be a scrollable vertical feed in the Twitch app that will, like TikTok, algorithmically serves users clips from creators' streams even when they are not live. Unlike TikTok and other short form video platforms, Twitch made it clear that it isn't prioritizing bite-sized content over streaming. It says that the Discovery feed will launch in fall. Twitch said until then, the company is running limited versions of the feature to test its algorithms. The shift towards short form video also includes new editing features that will allow creators to natively edit clips from their stream into a vertical format. Twitch will now support direct exports to YouTube, and starting in August will allow users to directly export clips from TikTok to Clip Editor, and it will also be available on mobile. So
definitely sounds like a lot of it starting on mobile, which is
it's starting on the app, which the app is on mobile, but also there's that trashy
The PC app.
The PC app that like literally they tried to push everybody towards and nobody wanted to use
anyone using that.
I think it goes through Overwolf. You remember Overwolf?
I think so. I think it does.
I will say, bravo Twitch, you have my attention. This is something that is the start of not only an algorithm of any type on the platform, but also a way that people are actually going to be able to be discovered when they're not live. Because that's the biggest problem with streaming specifically on Twitch as opposed to YouTube, is once you're done streaming on YouTube, that VOD is still out there for people to find. Twitch, if you're not live, you're not relevant. So
for sure.
Yeah, true.
This is a good step. I'm happy
nice
about it.
If they implemented the feature of like when you are live and people are viewing your clip, it would say that you're live. I
would imagine that would be something they would do.
They should do that like that would just help so much. But yeah, it's a good step. We'll see where it goes. Of course, though, my only worry is how many ad rolls you gonna think are in between clips.
Oh yeah, no, they'll definitely junk this up with ads for sure. But I mean, it's still a positive movement again, where week in and week out we normally see fails. This is something positive, which is again there. I mean, well, I can't say they don't have fails at TwitchCon because they broke someone's back last year, but it's still a positive movement. So something else,
they didn't break somebody's back. The fucking like
Logitech.
Logitech.
No, I think it was I know it wasn't Logitech.
It wasn't. It was fucking who was it?
Wasn't like Intel?
One of the big brands. I think it was Intel
or Lenovo. One of the I don't know. I don't think it was Logitech.
I don't know.
But the only thing that you could pin on Twitch on that one was that they didn't do the regulations correctly. But
moving. Okay, no, this is the one we just saw. But moving on, we also got the new beta access feature for what they're calling Stream Together Live. Essentially, I don't know if you guys remember, but or you guys do, but if you guys remember, they brought out guest star, and they actually, personally to me, I don't think they pushed this enough. Like, I think guest star is actually one of the coolest features that they've actually had go live in a while, and they really should push this out, I think, even more. But they basically made Stream Together Live, or aka the crossover. It's a new function where two live channels can stream with each other using guest stars. So they had their like version of like squad streaming, and essentially this is replacing.
So this sounds like they're trying to mitigate the external like multi-stream viewing apps. Remember those, like CADGAR and all those? Is this what it's trying to replace almost?
Those have been super funky for a while.
They have been. They have been. Yeah.
Essentially, yes. Like that's like everything is to bring it into your own ecosystem, right? They want to control everything that's kind of happening, and it makes sense. But essentially, yes, this is a form of that, where it is them control, saying, hey, you no longer have to go to third-party sites. You can squad stream or guest star or stream together.
Which honestly, really when squad streaming came out, the one thing that pissed me off about squad streaming was that it was a partner only thing, right? I'm like, why would you like? It made no sense to me why you wouldn't just offer that to everybody. So I think this is a big move on their part with this, at least.
This is offered to everybody, correct or no?
No, it's in beta access right now.
It's in beta access right now, but when it does come live, I'm pretty sure that they said it would be open to everybody.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, man.
Because guest star is open to everybody right now. So
right.
Yeah. So again, a cool feature. The big thing that I'm wondering is that if in fact they actually will roll to everybody, because squad stream right now requires transcoding options, and that's why it's limited to only partners. So that's why you can't have affiliates with this. And if they do the same thing, then it does the exact same problem, where affiliates don't always get transcoding. So
again, with guest star, they already have it out for affiliates as we speak right now. So
it's just one of the things, like, I don't know if this I'm just interested to see if they're going to do the same stupid move and say, oh, well, if they stream together live needs this, which I don't know why they would, because it's
I don't know why they would, because I'm pretty sure that this is replacing guest star.
Well, it's using guest star. It's not going to replace it. So it's you still have guest star as its own thing, but the you then also have this stream together live function. So like there's two they're two separate entities.
I got you. I was under the assumption that this was replacing guest star. So that's
no.
Okay. So, well, I mean, if they don't offer it and it's not one of those things that is offered to everybody, that's going to be a terrible move. Is that's one of the biggest situations and issues that I have with Twitch is a lot of their great ideas are locked to partners, which I understand. I understand where they're coming from. Like they have to give those big ticket items to partners, but like when almost more than half, probably like 3/4 of your site is affiliates,
right,
and non-affiliated streamers, like it makes no sense to me to only push that stuff out to basic stream, only push that out to partnered streamers. But
we'll see. Again,
Twitch has made stupider moves.
Another win, and again a positive thing, that I'm happy to connect.
This TwitchCon I was actually really impressed with, honestly. Like they in conjunction to like other TwitchCons. And we said it last time with the last TwitchCon, like they needed to bring out some like content, and we heard absolutely nothing. This one actually had some decent shit. Like I was really impressed with it. But on the other hand, they needed it. Like they need a couple of wins. Like they are just taking L's left and right, man.
So the other thing that was announced was, which kind of goes along the lines with the stories thing, is this, which is basically, it blows my mind that it's taken this long for them to do this. But essentially they're launching their mobile-based clip discovery experience. So we were kind of just talking about this, right? So this is a version where the clips that are taken based on how likely they are to bring in new viewers, but they'll be in this featured clips thing. It's an experiment. It's still kind of very early access, but it's looking at launching later on this year. And again, I think this is a phenomenal tool. Like,
this is something they've needed for a long time, like years now.
The question
leveraging anything that gives you discoverability while you're not streaming is huge.
Well, I mean, even again, like right there, like I don't know if you guys just saw that, but like let me scroll down so you can kind of see the
scroll down some,
here. So this is so really cool because they're going through the clips, right? They're having the clip moment,
she's live,
and then all of a sudden it pops up and goes, oh hey, I want to follow, and then oh hey, she's live. Boom, I want to watch stream, and now it goes right to her.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Okay,
so that's a big deal. I mean, this is again, obviously they looked at YouTube Shorts and they go, oh shit, this is a big deal. Like this is working. Let's integrate this, right? The thing that I am the most interested.
Why'd they follow her but not that guy? He was live too.
I don't know. But the most interesting part of this is
Smart fans.
Are they going to only push their top end, right? Like is this going to be something?
I think that's the big question here.
Smaller streamers being pushed, or is this only going to be top end?
I mean, categories already support top end. They need to give something for the little guys, man. Like they need some algorithmic way for people to not be buried.
Right.
Pretty much, because they've had, we've talked about how they do have a very rudimentary like clip viewing system in place, but it's nothing like this. And there is somewhat of an algorithm, but all it does is just show you the top of the top like popular.
Well,
clips.
Yeah, it's
and that's all it is. So if they just use that for this, then it'll pretty much be the same thing, except you can scroll. I mean,
the crazy thing about it is that the amount of garbage clips that are out there, like you see, especially like of female content creators, where they get up out of their chair and walk out of their room, and it's just like, ass shot, and that's what's clipped. Like, I mean, well, they'll be competing with TikTok at that point. But is that the thing that we're going to get? And, how, I don't, and like also too, like, how is it going to feed those clips? Cause you're right. Like 90% of the clips that I get recommended is just complete garbo. Like it's just complete trash. Like there's just nothing to it. And
I want to know, are we going to get muted if we say penis on this?
Probably. We're probably muted already.
The thing too is like, what is it? Well, I just had a literal mental train of thought, just completely lost my my brain.
It's because I said penis. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. I got penis.
Got him thinking about penis.
Yeah. It's tough to
I
get
don't know,
away from.
I can't. I don't know what. Damn it. Oh, it's
There we
the
go.
it's whether or not the penis context matters. No, it's just whether or not like context for clips is everything. It's also too
It
like
is.
when you go and watch a clip of something and you're kind of like, I don't get this joke. Why is this funny if you don't know the context of it? So it's very interesting because like YouTube, I will say in the very short amount of time that they've had shorts, like fuck man, that algorithm just like boom, it picks up and it just knows what to feed you because I have fallen into like for whatever reason like ghillie suit snipers on
like
airsoft, dude. I have fallen into that rabbit
that's
hole.
my shit too.
And like I'm just getting
Have you
nothing
seen
but
to do the whistles at people when they walk up?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
There's one more thing that I wonder too is clips are very weird too in the fact of like when you make a clip on Twitch, like all it takes is you clicking that button. You actually don't even have to name it or publish it for that clip to go through. It'll just use whatever that last 30 seconds you hit that button on. So I'm wondering, like, I hope their way of picking the clips that go into this themselves, because they mentioned that, right? They're going to also, other than you posting them yourselves, there will be clips that get fed into it automatically, I believe, correct? Was that something that they mentioned?
I don't think so. I think it's all like
it's
user
all
choice.
Okay, I could have sworn I heard somewhere that
it's all Twitch's choice. Twitch will choose the clip based on how likely they are to bring in viewers.
That's what I thought.
But creators can also feature.
That's
clips.
what I thought. Exactly. So Twitch will choose some clips. So I'm wondering how they will choose those clips, depending on what, if it's just going to be
I assume
randomly
by
selected or
I assume by
count.
viewers. Yeah, I assume by viewers or I mean, honestly, it might just be an algorithm. Like I can't think that they have an algorithm like YouTube, but
no,
maybe they've got an AI algorithm now that they're trying to push forward that goes through and like.
I gotta hope they're working on something like that.
Yeah,
you know, to make this actually fluent. I don't know. But
be interesting. It will be interesting. So
it's a good move, regardless.
Yeah,
it's a good move. Even if it sucks, it's more discoverability than people have had in a while.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, yeah. Again, these are all wins as long as Twitch doesn't fuck it up. You know,
right.
that is the biggest thing.
If.
Yeah,
so, that's a huge if.
You know, but again, that's all platforms. Like it's not like Twitch is the only platform that can fuck it up because you know we haven't. You know, there's not really.
They're just pretty good about it.
Yeah, they're very good about it. So that kind of covers all of Twitch's kind of news. Well, actually, you know what? It doesn't. There is something else that we're not going to bring a video up. I'm going to bring us back to our main screen so you can get our bill faces, all of our bill faces, our big beautiful faces for this.
Everyone's just Bill.
Everyone's just Bill. Actually, weird thing. That's what took me so long. Because
Enigma is Bill, according to some people.
Well,
that's true.
Here's the crazy thing: is that no lie, I literally, for whatever reason, my OBS decided to duplicate you, Bill, and you were taking up Scruffy, Enigma, and your space.
This podcast has just become being Billy Squid, being John Malkovich.
I couldn't tell you as to why that was the case, but it definitely was in fact the case. So so anyway,
nice.
But the other thing that happened, and I'm not gonna bring up the clip or watch it or any of that kind of stuff, but and we normally don't cover like drama amongst like spatting streamers, but this one I just like I think we all can kind of like get behind here. Just because of I think the hypocritical nature that is live streaming. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a who used to be in his prime, used to be famous, used to be a big deal person called Ninja. You guys remember Ninja?
Yeah, buddy. He did the Fortnite dance at New Year's, and nobody enjoyed it.
That was so cringe.
Yeah. So, and honestly, now we're probably gonna end up on live stream fails or some fucking Twitter, or he's gonna come blast us out or tell us that he's gonna buy out my bank.
Please do.
And fucking
cheers, Ninja.
Buy my house or whatever else, which is fine.
Give us more clicks, Ninja, please.
Yeah. Right. Let me go viral. But so he went after what was Ronaldo like what is
Ronaldo, I think is his name.
Well, Ronaldo is it's something Ronaldo. It's like stable Ronaldo or some shit like that. Let me find the guy's name. Hold on, because I want to be accurate.
I hadn't even heard about this up until you guys mentioned it before the
Stable
cast.
Ronaldo.
Stable Ronaldo. Yeah. Okay.
And Myth.
And he went after Myth too.
Wow.
Yeah, he went after Myth and him in the same.
That's surprising.
Comment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ninja, who again started his entire not streaming career, but started his really in scaling in popularity with Fortnite. Like that's where he went, right? Obviously went to Mixer, grabbed $30 million, came back, and has kind of really fallen off and has now gone back to Fortnite, because that's where he has to kind of live to try to make any kind of, relevance, I guess. When you're talking about large streamers, again, to us four, like, we would give a fraction of his to grab his viewership. But anyway, he made a shot at Stable Ronaldo and basically said that he was irrelevant, right? Like basically he had become
he made fun of his count, like his live viewer count. He made fun of his followers, and then he basically told him he basically said that you're irrelevant and that he peaked in Fortnite. To which point I'm like, well, motherfucker, you peaked on fucking you peaked on Fortnite, my guy. Like you can't call somebody out for peaking on Fortnite when you were the first one to peak on Fortnite, my boo.
Yeah.
Like to me, all of this is just what we have,
just a pissing contest.
Yeah. Well, it's a thing that grab publicity. Like I just feel like the moment that every moment that these streamers, whether it's Amaranth, whether it's Ninja, whether it's XQC, whether it's Hassan, whoever takes this moment, Pokimane, whoever, whatever it may be, and just is like, oh, I need to create some type of controversy to become relevant again and to get
that's all it
viral.
is.
Like,
take clicks.
It's the stupidest fucking thing, man. Like Jesus Christ. Like, why are you shitting on a person because they have 1,000? Like they've got 1,000. This kid's made it. Like this kid's set right now. Like who cares, man? Like
the worst part is people buy into this shit left and right.
Oh, absolutely.
That is the worst part. So it just feeds fuel to the fire. That's all it is.
The worst part is the replies in that tweet, man. That's just like a battlefield right there, dude.
Oh, Twitter is battle. Twitter is battle bit.
It's just ridiculous. But
yeah,
I don't know.
He did call out Myth as well, saying that he's like, and like Myth, he went to YouTube and what happened? You know what I mean? That's you right now, like basically saying that Myth fell off and disappeared too.
Yeah. I mean, again, like you take look. Here's the reality of this, and and even for like, I think the hypocritical nature of Ninja saying this, like, dude, you took a $30 million deal and left and went to Mixer, and then
never recovered. Like you left and went to Mixer, and then you never recovered. You peaked. Like you peaked. You're the one that peaked first, my guy.
But giving shit to somebody being like, oh, you went over to YouTube or whatever. Like these guys, Myth got a fucking bag. Myth got a bag, went to YouTube, got paid. So guess what? Who gives a shit? He doesn't give a shit whether he peaks or not anymore.
Listen, Ninja. The first step is acceptance. Okay.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it in the past where it's like a lot of people know Ninja from like when he first started like streaming Fortnite, right? Everybody's like, oh man, he's wholesome. He's just like the best streamer. This is the kind of shit. Yeah, this is the kind. We've talked about this so many times. This is his past creeping up. Like this is the true Ninja. This is the Ninja you see. This is the Ninja you see behind the scenes. Like
he's not signed to anything now. He's set loose. He's free.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing that cracked me up was like Tim let it go. Like if I was Tim, I wouldn't have let that happen on my stream.
I definitely would not have let it happen when he's talking shit about the platform.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Was that on Tim's stream?
That was on Tim's stream.
Yeah, he was co-streaming with Tim, and apparently he was drunk. But Myth also stated that being intoxicated doesn't excuse your actions.
Doesn't excuse it.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's like the thing again. Amaranth, all of the only one that has actually like, again, from a viewer standpoint has kind of kept close to what they did was really XQC. And even then his viewer count on Kick isn't what it was on Twitch.
I mean, you could argue Aiden too.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Aiden was banned off of Twitch. So I don't know. Aiden is Aiden. Like, I don't give a fuck about Aiden. Like, but I get it. Yes, technically him, but either way, like you get the money. Like why the who? Like I don't know. To me, it's just like why do you fucking care? Like you've gotten your money, you've made it, you've done it. Like you should be able to kind of take
insecurity, my guy. You have to belittle other people to make yourself feel big. That's really
crazy.
all it is.
Crazy.
Irrelevance, yeah.
But
pretty much
that's that is the drama that is going on there, and again the hypocrisy that what I would say about like in live streaming, it really sucks when like we should be at a place where we're like trying to build each other up, and like there's plenty of room in this entire platform on all platforms to really sustain everybody. It's like, why are you attacking? Like, why you can't just be like, fine, like you do you, I'm gonna do me. If I'm gonna stream on Kick, go stream on Kick. If I'm gonna fucking stream on YouTube, stream on YouTube. If I get a fucking deal and I go to Twitch, fuck it, who cares? Like, who gives a shit, man? God bless. It's just fucking dumb. I hate all this shit. All right, so that's the rest of the Twitch news. On the other side, we don't have YouTube, we don't have Kick news, but I will say that if you are streaming on Facebook, you just may want to maybe look for some other platforms. There's not anything necessarily announced, but there are some rumblings that the live streaming portion is coming very closely to an end on that one. People are saying that people's partnership managers are getting laid off, that there are rumblings that their contracts are getting moved up. Their contract end dates are getting moved up. So it may not be
not a real shocker. I don't think Meta ever really took their streaming seriously at all. There was never really any iota of effort into that.
It's the boomer streamer platform.
Apparently it was like good money though. Like it was easy to make a decent little paycheck off of Facebook streaming just because of the way ads worked and the way their viewership worked.
Yeah.
It was easy to,
because all you had to be was to get scrolled past. Even if somebody scrolled past you, it counted as a view or something like that.
I mean, yeah, but how good of an ad revenue is it whenever my mom is asking me like, who the fuck is this and why are they playing Fortnite on my feed? I'm like, I don't know, Mom. Why are you on fucking Facebook? Anyway, so yeah. So I will say normally, guys, we move right into what we've been playing. We really haven't been playing anything super new as far as like from what we were playing last week. If we have time, because we do have kind of a chunk here that is probably going to take up a large piece of time, we may do it at the end of the segment or end of the show, where we do talk about some or a game. Bill playing more Final Fantasy 16, which I'm assuming, Bill, you're enjoying Final Fantasy 16, correct?
Oh yeah. I'm continuing to enjoy. I finally finished it and I'm playing through it again. So
Absolutely. Boom, segment over. You did it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we actually wait, we do have something. We have one thing, and again, I'm gonna bring you guys back to big screen. We have to talk about one thing. So there is a known Nintendo hater on this show, boys and girls.
Oh, we're doing this.
There is a known Nintendo hater, and he goes by Enigma. And I just want to make sure
he goes by me. Where's he at?
He goes by.
He's by me.
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I thought I was alone in my room.
Don't try to robot your way out of this.
Nah, bro.
Hold on to them joysticks.
I'm gonna
grab that
room?
antenna and I'm gonna punch you in your little fucking screen. So
you're gonna grab his joystick? What?
I'm gonna grab his antenna. He's grabbing his joystick. I don't want to touch his joystick. This man in our like multiple podcasts has belittled, talks that he doesn't give a shit about Nintendo. Will usually go to sleep whenever Nintendo. Don't try to fucking.
I still do.
Listen, don't try to fucking AI yourself out of this.
I'm not, this bro. Man, I still do.
Before the show started, said his exact words: "I'm kind of enjoying my Switch." This man
I got a Switch. I got a Switch. My brother he upgraded his kids Switch Lite to a full Switch, I think. Mm-hmm. And was just like, hey, bro, if you want this, you can have it. Like, if you want to check it out. And I was like, fuck it, why not? You know, I'm enjoying it. I'm not. I'll tell you. You want to see. You want to hear what the games I'm playing are?
Sure.
Yeah. I have Lego Worlds because my nephew wanted me to play it with him, so I had to pick.
Lego games are great. Not even
Not a Nintendo game, by the way. I have Stardew Valley, not a Nintendo game, by the way. I have been playing the N64 collection that they have, which
that is a Nintendo
I'll say
game.
that is a Nintendo game, but that's stuff that I've said in the past that I played. I played the original Nintendo 64 stuff, like the original Zelda games and all that shit. And I've said in the past, Zelda's a great game. Like I'm not saying that it's not a great game. I just couldn't give a fuck less about the new ones, man. I really couldn't. Like maybe I'll eat crow with the new. I do want to play the new one that just released. What's it called again? It's Zelda Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I think.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Right?
Yeah.
I do want to play that one. I like it. I don't want to pay $70 for it. Fuck that. But I do want to play it. But yeah, no, I'm having fun with the Switch. It's kind of nice to have a handheld. Honestly, it makes me kind of want to get a Steam Deck though, just because I'm like, I kind of want to play my other games that I have on Steam rather than having to buy everything back on the Nintendo shop.
Let me ask you something. What do you like for your sides? Like, you like mashed potatoes, you like collard greens, you want like broccoli. Because I need to make sure that whenever I serve your crow up to you, that I have the proper side dishes.
Oh, is that right? Is that right? This hold on. What do you recommend, Mr. Crow Eater?
Hey, I'm just saying. Like, listen, I've eaten my fair share of crow too.
What do you recommend, sir?
I recommend a side. Definitely have Heinz 57 beside you because it can get a little dry.
Gets a little dry.
If you want to take my recommendation, a stuffed crow is very nice too this time of year.
Stuffed crow. Shut up, lobster boy. So anyway,
but yeah, no, it's I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like it has been really nice to have just kind of like, because usually I have to like have my whole PC and everything like that while I'm sitting in bed, and now I can just be like, I kind of want to play, Nintendo.
What? I kind of want to play Nintendo.
007 or whatever, or I want to play Banjo Kazooie. I want to play my Nintendo Switch so that I can have a handheld. Exactly.
There it is, boys and girls. This is literally like my 2023 is kind of been shitty, healthy wise.
Confirmed fanboy, Nintendo fanboy. There you go.
This is making up for it. This is God. I'm over the moon.
Next
Next
thing you know, I'm gonna be wearing a plumber hat and going, oh, it's me, Mario.
Nah, I think you're actually probably the undercover voice for Mario. So
yeah, I'm the next actor. They didn't want what's his name.
Well, they are. Hey, they're on strike right now, so you probably could get the gig if you
probably
to.
Weasel in there, man.
Somebody else that's eating crow is the FTC. You like that segue? It's good. So
that was pretty good.
But the FTC. So, guys, we have been following this from the get-go. We have talked about this incessantly, almost
every week.
I was gonna say it's been like a year, man.
Yeah. So almost 90 episodes of just talking about that. No, I'm just kidding. But I would love to say that it's finally come to an end, but the saga still continues.
I'm almost getting like Stockholm syndrome with this case. Like
I don't give a shit.
I don't want
anymore,
it to go,
man.
I mean,
I don't give a shit.
No, you don't care. No.
Bill's over it.
I'm so over it, man. It's a. We had a long conversation about it last night, and the point that I was trying to make in all of it was while it is kind of fun to watch from the sidelines, none of these mergers are a good thing for most people. Like most people like us, like the people that are actually playing the games. It doesn't matter. This is just a business v business, and we're going to be the collateral damage, whether it's Sony buying something up, whether it's Microsoft buying something up. Consolidation of any capacity is not good in the long run, especially with third-party studios going first-party, in my opinion.
Hey,
I don't disagree.
I don't necessarily disagree. I would say that out of all companies that I feel at least more comfortable with doing something, at least for the purpose of getting games out to as many people as possible, I feel a little bit better on the Microsoft side.
Yeah, but I do see also that this could potentially spark other,
it's gonna,
acquisitions from other.
Oh, it's 100%.
Yeah, so I could see in that aspect, Bill, like what you're saying exactly. Like we will be the ones reaping the repercussions.
The thing that pisses me off is that I guarantee you that if the minute that this entire thing blows over, whether Xbox and Activision the acquisition goes through or not, the minute that it's over and the target, the sniper scope is off of Sony, they're going to go out and buy a fucking company. And nobody's going to have a fucking thing to say about it.
Well, they've already got their eyes set on it. They do.
Like the FTC will not even look twice at it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that royally makes me mad about all this, right? So the ruling came through that basically, the judge ruled in the favor of Microsoft, right? And we talked about this last week, but that judge said, dude, I have fallen in love with that judge. That judge was fucking
There's some new information that came up as well about that judge, and about the starting of the trial. All right, did you guys know that judge was basically demanded by the FTC?
It doesn't surprise me.
Now, the story behind that, and I'm sorry to take it out on a little tangent, but I literally just learned about this the other day too. I did not know about this. Nothing was really pushed forward that I could have seen, at least. Apparently, that judge, when the FTC was trying to get this whole trial set together, right? That judge, Microsoft came forward and was like, "Hey, like, this judge has a person. Her son works at Microsoft. Like, there's a bit of a source of contention, right? A conflict of interest right there. We're requesting another judge." And the FTC was like, "No, you're going to take our judge, or you're going to fucking forfeit." Essentially, they were like, "No, fuck you. This judge is the one that we want to." And Xbox was like, "Y'all are sure, right? Like, her son works for us."
Yeah, well,
that's funny.
Her name is Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley. I'll bring this down so you guys can kind of get a hello, mouse. You gonna work or no? Okay.
Nope.
Not
gonna do it.
Again, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley was the judge that presided over it. And here's what else I love about this judge specifically, and during the case, while we talked about this some, is that she was very, very knowledgeable, at least of the space, which you don't normally see. Also, two,
that's because her son works for Microsoft.
Well, yeah, okay, sure, but either way, too, like, she was also extremely fair and balanced. Where like it was 100%. Like, hey, ask your questions, but if you're going to continue, because if you have ever watched any fucking government trial, it is the most like circus fucking thing where it's just like asking the same question 6 times in a different way,
round and round
and getting nowhere. And she fucking cut that shit off. So obviously she had her ruling. She went down and she was basically like, the FTC has presented no legal standards that would present by law a reason why this acquisition can't go through. So with that being said, the FTC decided to, appeal the fucking decision and say, oh, well, we don't like this outcome, and so we're going to appeal it. Here's my, if you're talking about normal civil court cases, appeal all you want. That's your money that you're throwing out there, and you're taking it and doing whatever you want. You want to go fucking broke doing appeals because you want, you said that the roofer fucking, pooped in your, fireplace. I don't know, whatever. Go do your thing. But when you're talking about tax,
that's very specific. Has that happened to you before?
That might have happened.
That's really specific.
I live in the South, dude. Nobody has fireplaces, and we don't poop down here. So, but what pisses me off about this is that this is taxpayer money that is being wasted trying to go after an appeal where. And even during the appeals process, they were like, this was brought up. They're like, you're wasting taxpayers' money. You're literally going after an appeal that most likely is not going to go through because they're going to refer back to the previous judge's statements. And there was nothing that was said or done that was illegal or should say that was a fraudulent case. And so that has now also spurred the UK, which is now kind of saying, hey, basically the CMA was trying to block this too. To me, they were just this was the way for the UK government to kind of be like, hey, well, we come off as like cool people, and we know that like they don't know shit. And they basically are like, oh, well, now that the FTC lost, we're gonna fucking kind of reach an agreement too. So like, I don't know. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. I mean, on this appeal and everything else that's going through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a farce. I've thought it was a farce from the start. I thought it was just a waste of time from the very get-go. Myself and Bill kind of had an extended conversation about this last night while he was beating Bloodborne with a saw of some sort.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was great.
2.5 hours, mind you.
It was amazing. I enjoyed watching it, but yeah, I have no fucking clue what the hell that was. But we were having kind of a conversation about this, and I'm just like, the extent that the FTC is going, to me personally feels like somebody has some form of like tie to Sony, whether that's stocks, whether that's a person that works in the company. I don't know, man. It just feels like there's like they're attacking this way too heavily. And they're just not giving up. It's like a rabid dog that just doesn't want to let go, right? Like when a dog gets a bite on you and they they just don't want to let go, and that's what it feels like to me.
I don't I don't think that, I think Sony is kind of, well, one, I don't even think this is Sony's crusade. I think this is fucking Jim Ryan's goddamn crusade. I mean, that dude.
Very true. Yeah.
I think that's just his kind of thing. But I think that, if you look at major cases that kind of happen and go to court, especially in California or New York, you have this where if the government or a corporation does not get what they want, because don't think for 1 second that Microsoft would have just bowed out, right? If they would have lost this, they would absolutely be doing the same thing. But again, that's private money, right? I mean, that's stockholder, that's still shareholder money and stuff like that, but it's still more private. This is literally the like this is us. Yeah. Me, you, Bill, and Enigma are all paying for the fucking FTC to go appeal for this. We're paying millions of dollars. Like, how about you just be like, okay, fuck it. You know what? Here, can you just write me a check? Can you give me a check? Can I get some of that money back, like, for this bullshit? But I don't know. I think honestly, I think that's a rule that they should make. It'd be like, hey, if you lose a case and you're the FTC or the government and you brought then you have to pay back all of the taxpayer, like give them back their money for the cost of what this fucking trial did. That would stop them dead in their tracks. So
it's definitely a joke, man. Like, it's just prolonging it over and over again. And honestly, it's so much of a joke that literally the FTC site, remember that? It got changed to the Sony whatever. Somebody hacked into it and changed the FTC's logo to Sony.
It was the wiki page, yeah.
The wiki page. It's all a joke. It seriously is.
I will say I'm over the Sony, kind of throwing jabs at fan. No, I mean, I'm over just the Sony getting thrown jabs left and right. Again, I'm not going to say that Jim Ryan.
You are right about it. It is mostly Jim Ryan's.
Like, I don't know how much Sony is really behind all this. They're behind a portion of it, but I think Jim Ryan is the fucking problem. Mm-hmm.
And he's just hiding behind Sony's face.
I really think that at a certain point, I think Sony just goes, Jim, get the fuck out of my office. Like, you're done. So on top of that, though, this actually is not good news for Microsoft. It's a smaller number comparable to, if you remember earlier on in the year, we talked about Microsoft getting hit with layoffs, and there were like 10,000 people were laid off. That is a very, very large number. In comparison, they hired 60,000 people prior to that. So, it's still, it was 60. I think it was 60,000 people. But anyway, they did get hit with more layoffs. About 276 people were laid off from the customer service, support, and sales sectors around this. This is, they say it right in the article. This has been a really rough year for technology, the technology sector. It's not just technology. Like, we're moving into a recession. Like, you can say we're not in a recession all you want to, but like it's very clear that we're moving into at least something. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily what we had in like 2008, but I mean, 200 employees. It sucks that 276 employees lost their jobs, but yeah,
it could have been a lot worse.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, again, when you're talking about a studio or anybody that hired, a large number of people, I mean, every company went through this, even companies that I work for, I work at, things like that. I mean, the technology sector really looked at the last 2 years and basically kind of overindulged themselves, right? They were just like, oh, it's going to continuously be great, and it's like, no, everybody was stuck at fucking home. Like, what else are we going to do? But
I also feel like there's a lot of overhiring due to remote jobs being more of a thing, and remote jobs 100%, do not have as high of productivity as in office jobs. So they needed to have more bodies on hand to handle the workload. So it's probably just them evening back out into like standard practice.
And they've been
I still hate to see people
this.
losing their jobs. So hopefully the severance is good.
Yeah. Well, I have.
Hopefully, it comes to an end here because we've been going through like these layoffs for almost a year now.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah, you're not gonna you're gonna continue to see that, and also too. I mean, to point out in Bill's kind of comment is that remote has one. I think a lot of companies should necessarily move to remote. I don't think that you need to have something where it's necessarily in house. As long as it's not my doctor. Fuck, if I found out even though of course I do remote, I mean I have remote doctor's appointments now, virtual doctor's appointments. So they're like, hey, can you take your own finger, shove it up your ass, and tell me what you feel? That's real weird.
Can you get the camera really up in there?
But I did think it was weird that my colonoscopy was done at home. That was kind of odd. But anyway, the other thing too is like remote jobs are also very hard to manage, right? Like you have people that are just like, oh yeah, I'm working, and you're like, no, you're not. You're playing fucking Diablo. Like I could tell because you
talking
forgot
from experience.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Jokes.
But yeah. So I mean, I make sure that I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. But it's the truth. So it is sad whenever anybody loses their job. Yeah. But I don't. This is not going to be something that is. We're going to have more of this. It's
unfortunate
for sure. So. So yeah, that is that. The next set of news. Oh no, that's still I'm still looking at the FTC. Hold on one sec.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm done.
Get it out of here.
FTC. I'm good with the FTC. No more. But the other stuff that we talked
about.
Real
talk though. Before we leave off on this, like, do you think that they're gonna? Because like they have until tomorrow to bring forward.
I was under the impression that the judge denied the appeal already.
Did they? I didn't think
I thought it was like I think it was a couple hours ago. Judge denied appeal. 3 hours ago, as expected, Judge Corley has denied the FTC's motion to stay her own PI order.
Okay. And you were just going to keep quiet, Bill?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Either way, like if they appeal again, like what do you guys think is like the grounds that they're going to be doing this on? Because I've heard a lot of people saying that like they could get them on the grounds of like the fact that Judge Corley did not specifically mention certain aspects of like the consumer protection or whatever it was. There's a couple of instances of like false
it's
like
not
she used different terminology than what the actual law was, et cetera, et cetera.
It's not her job. It's not her job.
Well, I think in her dismissal notice of the ruling that she focused in on one reasoning specifically with the Call of Duty situation as to why she was denying the FTC's thing. I think that's the only issue, is she ignored everything else, because to be fair, the FTC focused heavily on
that's all they focused on,
more so than anything else. And that's partially on the FTC's fault, because I think this should be going on. I think that the FTC should be investigating this acquisition. I don't know why they are investigating it the way that they are doing it and trying to push it in the way that they are doing it. It's coming off as a Sony-backed process.
Because it is a Sony-backed process.
But
in my opinion,
the whole frustrating thing about it is it shouldn't be that. Then there are very real reasons why this should be getting investigated that are getting overlooked because of some stupid reason. And that's the frustrating part. The acquisition has reason to be not rejected, but
investigated.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you at certain points, but I would say at a place where I've watched, I think we all experienced it and have watched, Facebook go through, these kind of court appeals. We've seen, Tesla go through this stuff, Microsoft, whatever, put Apple. The one thing I'll say is, like, at a certain point though, whenever the FTC is bringing up this stuff of like, hey, like non-competitor clause, like making sure that like these things are available across all platforms and you're not like, stopping it from being, somewhere else. And Microsoft is going, yes, like, I don't know what you want. Like what, like, yes, we have offered these deals. We have offered this stuff. There's 10-year things in place. Like, this is like, all of those questions have been answered and checked. At a certain point, you kind of have to go, okay, like, I don't know. Like, the FTC needs to back off. I understand investigating it to a certain extent, but if there are things in the answers that the questions that you're asking are being answered for, and they're being said like, yes, like we are going to do these things, then you hold their nose to the grindstone and you fucking step out of the way. Like, I don't, I think that's the bigger problem, is that they continuously just, like you said, they focus in on Call of Duty. I don't know why. That's not.
I mean, even the 10-year exclusive, like the 10-year deal for like other platforms is specifically Call of Duty based. They're not leaning into the King aspect at all with the mobile sector. They're not leaning into
or even Bethesda's stuff. Like nothing was even mentioned about like their domination over Bethesda and Starfield going exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing was mentioned there. Nothing has been mentioned about Elder Scrolls 6. Nothing has went on with the cloud gaming sector, or how that is going. Like, if Game Pass goes cloud, that is going to be massive. Like, it's getting to a point where I am concerned that Microsoft's wallet could become an issue. That's my biggest concern out of all of this. Not to defend any one company, but to defend every company, because there is not a gaming company out there, not a producer, not a distributor, nothing that can compete with the Microsoft wallet in that space. That's why I think this does need to be taken seriously, and I don't think the FTC is taking it seriously.
Yeah, no,
you think it's all just going to blow over before they even do take it seriously?
I think the deal will go through, and it'll open the door for more acquisitions from both sides. But if it's allowed to be a bidding war where companies can just buy what they want, the only winner is Microsoft. Whether the quality of the games goes up, down, left, or right, the bigger wallet should not be the sole defining factor on certain aspects of this industry.
So well, I mean, my question then, though, it would be, and not saying that I'm a supportive of buyouts and things of that nature, but what becomes the then defining metric? Because if we look at the let's be honest, right? The only people that are putting out good games right now realistically are indie devs. I mean, and that's been the case for a long time. Not saying that, we don't have, I don't want to piss off Nintendo fanboys. I don't want to piss off Blizzard fanboys that are,
how dare you, sir?
You stay in you're saying you're go there and play your Switch. But I don't want to piss off anybody.
Mario is the best game in the world.
Final Fantasy, anybody, like, look, there are good AAA games. I'm not saying that they're not, but they're very few and far between, and we all know that. Like, so what becomes the defining defuncto factor of how these things work? Because business in general gets to a point where either A, you grow large enough to acquire other companies, or B, you get acquired. I mean, C, you can say sustainable, but that at a certain point you don't have growth at that point, unless you're something like Tesla, which even then Tesla still acquires government contracts. Like, they're in the contracting business.
Yeah, I think what's even scarier is like when these bigger companies, these AAA companies, start to really notice that indie games are where it's at, and they start to acquire those companies then, and just
well, yeah. If you don't think that EA is not looking at BattleBit's creator or developers right now and saying we could just buy them, like,
literally, and it's pocket change. These indie companies are like pocket change to them.
So it's hard, because I think regardless, the stroke of genius of these indie developers is to either A, get bought out, or B, make a shit ton of money, and then they grab their bag and they go. Like, I don't see very many indie developers that are like continuously just pumping out more and more and more and more games. It's very rare. So unfortunately, I mean, I will agree, Bill, that I think like the dystopian future that we have is that this is going to be, nothing but, 2 or 3 major corporations just basically dumping, that own all of these things.
Acquisition war, pretty much. Right. What we've been going through.
Right.
And that's fucking sad because, like, we're having a conversation in chat right now with the question being, shouldn't success be rewarded if they have the money? Can't they use it? Then what's the point of grinding it out? The money that they're spending on these big acquisitions wasn't even earned through the gaming sector primarily. It was based on their Windows monopoly, which there was an FTC lawsuit against that way back when. The funds that they're using are through joint business. It is not through Xbox earning its way into the industry.
If we want to, yeah, I was about to say, if we want to point that out, like Sony itself just came out and said that the only way that they can push out that content, like the fucking God of Wars and the quality of content that they pushed out, is through a fucking game that they didn't even develop. So technically they're not even doing that through their own merits either.
It's still through the Sony gaming network. They're still networking to make
well, no, they're making money off of another game. They're making money off of another franchise. What I'm saying is
they're not
he's saying it's still inside the gaming.
I understand that it's still inside, but it's the same thing. You're still getting money from outside of an outside source from your company.
I mean, I can end it here. Sony, it's well known that Sony's, like, the entertainment sector of Sony, as far as like from a gaming point, is not their profitable. It's not their money maker.
No,
it's their entertainment issue. It's their movie. It's their televisions. That kind of stuff is what makes it. I mean, I think even even if we move ourselves one step further and go outside of Microsoft and Sony, because there's a natural tendency to just kind of compare the two. We're talking, like, let's move to Embracer Group. Let's talk about Tencent. Yeah. Let's talk about these corporations that are, and I mean, Tencent is one of the largest groups of that's non-gaming, but they own a massive hold on the gaming market. Embracer Group has more studios underneath their belt than until this goes through, more studios under their belt than any other company. And Embracer Group is a basically almost like a hedge fund that was started and became, what it is today, to buy out these studios. So
to me, it just feels cheap to be like, well, because it's not coming from them specifically in their gaming franchises, they shouldn't be able to use that money, or they haven't earned that money to be able to use it.
Well, they've used it's business. It's business being business. And even with the Tencent argument, they are small in comparison to Microsoft as a whole as far as net worth goes. Like, yeah. Tencent's net worth is 412 billion. Microsoft's net worth is 2,297 billion. So astronomically bigger.
Four times, right? No, almost
2,200. Yeah,
almost 5 times.
So
bigger.
I don't know. I can't back a $1 trillion industry buying up studios that nobody else can possibly compete with in good faith until they give me a reason to have good faith in that. Consolidation's bad from the consumer perspective all the way around. No matter what way you try to twist it, no gamers are going to win from this. There is going to be less gamers that are going to get their hands on these games than there would have been if Activision Blizzard and King stayed third party.
After this acquisition goes through, Microsoft won't even be able to pick up another company for quite some time, though. Is that correct?
We don't know.
I mean, I don't.
Speculation, and I don't think they're going to be.
There's nothing stating that they can't try to buy somebody.
Well,
whether the FTC comes after them for that or not is one thing or another.
I mean, I don't. The biggest reason why I don't think that they would actually do it is
I don't think they will.
A sheer shareholder. Like, being a private like, again, I work for a private company. And going and asking for another, you just asked for $70 billion that got spent all of this time, not including just the amount of money that lawyers and all this other kind of stuff had spent, defending this case. to go and say, hey, I want to go to the board and also ask for another fucking, $7 billion, $8 billion dollars. Like it's
I think that when like I do agree with Bill in that aspect where it's like, to me, what was it? It was like 69-70 billion for Activision, right? Like 69 billion. Yeah. That's a drop in the fucking bucket, dude.
But you still, regardless of that, you still have to be able to show to shareholders, where's the like, okay, you're spending this amount of money. We can't just do it on good faith. The board has to understand the economical value that's there. And just by saying, well, the net worth of this company is technically XYZ, and that's not enough. Like, so
right.
I would say that,
it won't be right off the bat. They'll have to. I think that honestly, we won't see another acquisition from Microsoft until after Elder Scrolls 6 releases. That's my personal opinion.
Unless they try to sneakily acquire some indie companies, like we were saying.
I don't. Sorry, you guys are going to see some background stuff there. I don't think that is. I don't think you're accurate there. I think that you're going to see it. It's going to depend on what is Sony about to do. Like if Sony goes in and buys another group,
that is true. Yeah. If Sony hits back and goes for like a bigger like EA. We talked about EA's possibly, like, in my opinion, I think that they're personally vying for an acquisition.
Bungie on that list too?
Well, Bungie's already been bought by
them. They did buy Bungie, right? Oh, okay, never mind.
Bungie's already over there. But like EA would be a huge one. Like if they somehow get EA Sports,
yeah. I mean,
that's huge.
Where I'll agree with Bill on this too is that I think this is where we get into this dystopian future where it's not a hey, I'm acquiring this company because there is legitimate reasons to acquire it. The company needs help or doesn't, or we think that we can make it better. It becomes a pissing match. It becomes hey,
well, you bought this, I'm going to buy this.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that, right? Like,
and that's not a world where any gaming company is going to win against Microsoft. Is the problem that I'm trying to make very clear here. Matt Booty himself said that Microsoft isn't in a unique position to spend any gaming company out of business. He mentioned Sony in that, but it could be, you could tie Nintendo into that. You could tie any other conglomerate into that. And that is a problem, which is why the FTC needs to take this seriously instead of being a fucking Jim Ryan shill and ruining what could possibly be a very important decision in gaming, one that could define the future of gaming moving forward.
Yeah, it'll be a landmark case. I mean, absolutely. Like this will be a case that will be looked at for decades and decades to come, whether it's inside the gaming space or outside the gaming space. I mean, it will be something that's looked at. The bigger thing that I think that is the issue, why they're not taking it seriously, is because the landscape of gaming is still like, oh yeah, but there's Ubisoft, there's Steam, there's Valve, there's EA, there's so many other companies that are out there. Like this is just a very small segment of it. It's not
for now.
Right. So
you can't open the door though, man.
I'm not saying
it's all terrifying.
I agree.
I don't think any of us are I don't think any of us are disagreeing with that, but
definitely.
Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So
the last thing that I'll say about that though is like, and I understand where you're coming from with it, but one thing that makes me laugh, and we talked about this last night, we kind of dug into it a little bit, is like for the last decade, pretty much people have been telling Microsoft, hey, just make better games, just get better first party acquisitions, right? Just get more games. And then they do it, and then people are like,
just don't come out with Redfall.
Whoa, hold on a second. I know we told you to use your money to buy more games, but we didn't mean it like that. That's what cracks me up personally.
I would rather them be using their money to invest in the studios that they already own and actually utilizing them to their full capacity, which it does not seem like they've been doing.
Here's what I'll
move the gaming space forward, not just buy your way into it.
Okay.
They are moving the gaming space forward by getting more options for
they're moving themselves forward. They're not doing anything for gaming.
They're a part of the gaming space.
The only thing
I'm saying is advancing like the technology, advancing what gaming is, the possibilities of gaming can do, instead of being, we're going to acquire a bunch of games and then put them on a subscription service. That doesn't benefit anybody besides Microsoft. Yes, it is a cheap and easy way for people to be able to play games, but you don't own those games. It's a way for them to hold the light switch on this entire branch of entertainment where at any point they could just zoop or charge whatever they want for it once they have secured their spot into it. Because
I don't necessarily think this is the deal that is going to hurt the consumers more than what comes after the deal. I think that's the biggest, worry here.
Well,
I think this deal specifically does have consumers in its eyes somewhat.
Why? How can you say taking a third-party studio and moving it to a first-party Xbox studio has the entirety of gamers in its sights?
Well,
yes, Call of Duty has agreed to a 10-year deal, but less people are going to be able to play Blizzard and Activision and King games moving forward if the deal goes through. That is a blanket statement. That
is an inaccurate statement. More people are going to be able to play those games, given the fact that they want to plaster those games across the entire fucking. Like they want you to be able to play games on a fucking TV. What do you mean?
Yeah, they are one. There are
the only people that would have to ever worry about that, and again, it's the 10-year deal. The only people that would ever have to worry about that would be PlayStation. And yeah, I understand that. It sucks that yes, they are on the other end of that now. Like, I get it. I do understand that.
Tell me though that a third-party company pushing out games to every system possible is going to reach less people than Microsoft buying them and pushing it out from their platforms.
But the third party company was not pushing it out to everybody. You were getting exclusive deals throughout that third party company.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't want to get into a pissing match here, but what I would say is like the
consolidation is anti-consumer. It is what it is. You can try to paint it any way, but it is an anti-consumer practice, and less people are going to get those games. Whether the third-party studio is making deals one way or the potential for more people to get those games is higher as a third party than it is as a first party.
But wait, so okay, so all right, let me. I'll dissect it. I want to dissect your kind of breakdown of this. So with the idea that let's just say that we're at a pre acquisition state. So we have Activision, who is, and let's not even use Call of Duty. Let's say Call of Duty out of the equation. Let's just talk about World of Warcraft. Is it okay? Can we talk about that one?
Yeah, talk about whatever you want with it.
So World of Warcraft, like specifically, was only to be able to be played on a PC. That was it. Like that's the only place that you could get it, and it was from Blizzard directly. They have had the ability, and we know for a fact that it can be played on mobile devices. It can be played on a Steam Deck. It can be played on multiple different ways, right?
That on a fridge, bro.
I mean, you could play that game really anywhere. But as a third-party entity, that game was locked to just a PC or laptop. So that is the core base of that. We now go post. Let's fast forward and we go post acquisition. If Microsoft keeps to their word, and we are going to speculate that they are going to roll this into their system, because I think there's speculations on both sides. If they then in turn say, hey, we're going to allow now World of Warcraft to be able to be played on Steam, on Nintendo Switches, on a TV, on Game Pass, or on cloud, does that in turn not
more
make
people
it
are then being able to play that game?
To I mean, does that? What is your feeling on that piece, right? Like, because again, I'm just trying to play out these scenarios. Does that was my basics behind that is like, yeah, you're alienating one subsection basically, and we don't even know if that's the truth or not. Like we don't even know how far reaching this is going to go. There's a very high possibility that they might allow
Activision games like that to be played on the PlayStation as well. We don't know. This is all speculation at the moment, obviously. But what we do know is that Microsoft itself, or at least Xbox and Phil Spencer, have come out there and basically stated we want to be able to get these games in the hands of basically as many people as we can. They've said that multiple times, especially with COD. I can only assume that they mean that with everything else. Like, granted, we can bring up the Starfield exclusivity if you want to. I personally find that it's not a very I mean, it is a good argument that you could be like, well, they made Starfield exclusive, but
and
like
Redfall.
and Redfall, and I'm sure that personally I believe that yes,
Rush, right?
I believe that Elder Scrolls will more than likely be exclusive. I know that we argued about this last night, and you feel it's probably not going to be.
I feel like it would be a really dumb move too, just because
I feel it's going to, because it's one of the it's again it's a console seller essentially. Now, granted, they've already stated that they don't really care about the console war anymore, and I'll bow to that. Like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that. That maybe it won't be because it won't be exclusive because they don't really care about the console anymore, right?
I think there's more revenue to be gained having it cross like for that particular franchise. Starfield,
for sure,
new franchise, it makes sense to go exclusive with it if that's what they choose to do. I think Elder Scrolls is ingrained in enough gamers across all platforms that they would lose out.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's an existing IP that's been multi-platform for decades, basically,
right?
A very long time. So it would be a stupid move, 100%. I personally still think it's going to be, but we'll see what happens. But my biggest argument with that is that, again, yeah, you're alienating PlayStation users, right? Like, obviously, if they don't push that over to PlayStation, you're alienating PlayStation users. But to state that less people will have access to these games because of this acquisition, I think is a very broad way of stating it, because factually more people, with how Microsoft is moving forward into the future, or how they've said that they want to move forward into the future,
yeah, it's all taking Microsoft's word.
More people, I mean, that's all we can do. Like, we can only take the word. We don't.
Yeah, but with like legislations and stuff like this, you can't just take the best case scenario, stamp it, and call it a day. You have to look at any caveat that could endanger the industry moving forward. Well, you can't just take
you could.
face value.
And we are. I'm not saying that they're not. Again, I've just got done saying that it is a very high possibility that they will not be bringing ES out on multiple consoles, right? Like, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt at this point. I'm not stating that I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying my opinion of what's going to happen. But like, to factually state that less people will have access to these games because of this acquisition is inaccurate. More people will have access to these games, just less people from a certain console. Less people from a PC box essentially will have access to that.
Here's where I can put. I think we can, one, for time's sake, we need to move the forward. But what I want to, like, I think the end all be all statement that we can kind of all put a nail in this coffin is that we can all agree that the one thing that I would at least love to see, and I think I probably speak for all of you guys, is that instead of trying to deny these acquisitions and fighting, like, which you're gonna, like, the FTC is ultimately going to lose in most 90% of these types of cases like this, is that there should be legislation that comes out there that stops exclusivity. Like, to me personally, one of the things, like, I am waiting for the day that Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo stop publishing fucking consoles, or putting out consoles, they become publishers. Because at that point, it ends all of this. And it's basically just going, hey, you cannot own a fucking studio and exclusively put it, and I don't care whether it's Netflix, whether it's Hulu, whether it's fucking gaming, Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, Nintendo's, I don't know, their jank ass system, like, whatever it's gonna be. Like,
how dare you, sir?
Yeah,
the Switch is an amazing system.
But just stop with exclusivity.
All Nintendos are great.
Well, sure. But exclusivity, I just think exclusivity, that's the problem. Like, that is the end all be all problem of this.
It really is.
Exclusivity is a fucking shit show, and it shouldn't be allowed. I mean,
it's a necessary evil. To very small point, and we can wrap this up. We were talking yesterday that exclusivity is a necessary thing to bring the industry forward. You need to have that incentive to create competition. Competition breeds growth. Growth in the industry is good for everybody. So it is a necessary evil to some extent, I feel.
Well, and then
how do you
again, my argument back to that is like, if exclusivity is a requirement to push the franchise forward, then you can't argue that them buying a studio and making a game exclusive is bad.
It's hard to do that in the same breath. Like it's hard to say I can't,
like the only thing that you could argue with it is like, yeah, you're taking a company or a gaming producer that was producing it for the masses or the gaming masses, right? And now you're making it exclusive to one thing. But like if they're using that exclusivity to push their own inner, or whatever you want to call it, their own system, their own inner system forward, or the agenda. Like, I don't really want agenda. Agenda sounds like it's it's like a fucking bad thing, in my personal opinion.
I mean, it is an agenda.
Exclusivity is a bad thing, in general. But like, if you're going to argue that, then you can't sit there and then argue that them bringing like Starfield over and making it exclusive is bad, because they're just taking that game and pushing their own things forward. It's the exact same thing that the other companies are doing, just on a wider scale because they have more money. Yeah.
Well, look, I think we all need to find our way forward. And I think that we can find our way forward by finding a wayfinder. Hope that was
a terrible,
kind of cheesy.
Hey,
that was
look,
rough,
man, y'all gave me nothing to go off of here. I needed something to go off of, so I had to make my own way.
I think you need to find your way out.
Yeah, there we go.
I think you need to find your way out, sir.
Well, I do my best. Anyway, moving forward. So, Wayfinder, this is a game that has been under NDA wraps. Like I've played it. I know Enigma has played it. I don't have either one of you, Bill or Scruff, or
never had the opportunity. Nope.
I have not. No.
So Wayfinder is I guess it's an action RPG. It's classified in like the MMO space. I personally don't think it really fits in the MMO world. Like, it's about as MMO-y as I would say probably
it's about
like
as
Diablo.
MMO as Destiny or Diablo. Yeah.
I thought it was more of a looter shooter.
Well, there's no
Is it
shooting.
not?
It's a looter. I mean, it's an action RPG. It's
I've seen shooting in this.
Well,
100%.
I think maybe one character has a gun.
Okay, but either way, I thought it was like a looter.
I don't think
there is a character with a gun.
I don't know.
There's a character with a gun.
I don't know. Anyway,
there's a character with it's a rifle or like a pistol of some sort.
Anyway, I thought this was akin to what's that one game you played with the guys with the swords, and they were all buff dudes, and they were shiny armor.
You have explained. You literally explained every fucking game.
Armor.
you played it, Sin. It was God.
Sin covers 6 fucking games an episode, bro.
It's true. What is that game? It was God something, I think.
Oh, Godfall.
Oh, Godfall, yeah.
Godfall.
Yeah, I thought it was something like Godfall.
So
kinda.
Yeah. It's again, we can't.
That's where my mind went.
Until the NDA is lifted, we can't really fucking talk about it as much as we want. But anyway, everybody has been kind of asking, like, hey, like, when is the early access going to come out? Because they've had like numerous amounts of like play tests and things like that, like and so we are getting news of when the early access is going to happen.
We're getting their showcase on the 20th,
on the 20th at 1, and they're going to go over the early access stuff. They're going to go and talk about the founders packs. They're going to talk about apparently there's housing, which I didn't know existed in the game.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I think their new class or character, Venomous, and then the creator program. My question, and why I have this in the news section, is do you think it's too late? Like, do you think like this style of game, because what I can talk about, because they've showcased it, is basically you go into a hub world like Destiny or a city, and then you do your thing. You can partner up with people, you can do all that kind of stuff, and then you go out into like a open world zone, really, and you have missions that you're accomplishing, and then there's also like a dungeon, like a smaller dungeon system that's there, that you kind of that's instanced on its own. Do you think something like this?
What do you think? This is like, this genre is all tapped out now, and everything all the games in the genre have like cemented their place already, or
I don't necessarily think it's too late. Like this game is a niche. It's a niche player base, right? Like it's those player bases like again like
I wouldn't say
Destiny.
it's necessarily like too niche anymore because there are a lot of these games that have been pushed out. It's only a few of them that actually
but they don't get popular. That's what I'm saying is it's a niche player base. Like they don't get popular. They get popular when they release.
It's almost to me like it peters off. What's the Dead by Daylight? That exactly, like that genre is huge, except it's only stapled on that one main game, and all the other ones, all the other offsprings, they can't make it because the fan base is too like adamant with their top game, you know. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's
it's a tough market for this game to get into. I don't know if it's too late. I just don't know how well it will do in the market, and
we can't really
if it were released at any point in this time.
I was about to say from what we've played, but like we can't talk about it until they.
No.
Yeah.
Technically, we're going against their fucking what's it called just by saying that we played it.
I don't know. I don't think it's too late. I just don't think I just think it's going to be tough for if it came out at any point in time for it to really succeed. It don't matter if it came out, you know, a year ago or in a year from now. Like I think it's just still it's going to have to fight its way into this market.
I mean, for sure. The problem is though having like some people in chat are saying like, oh, it'll have a small dedicated fan base, but for a game like this it's cost a shit ton of money to make. I don't know if having a
lot of those games that have that small dedicated fan base usually either go down to like a skeleton crew and stop development, such as what was the Vampire Masquerade, or we just saw the shutdown of the Cycle recently, which also had a small dedicated, and that was a pretty big game in itself too. It's just tough for these kinds of games that to squeeze their way in.
I also think it's the
categories that already have a main cemented game in there. You know?
I also think the problem with it is that like these are like a dime a dozen. Like there's so many of these being released recently. Like Sam was saying earlier that like you can throw a coin into a pile of them and hit one. You know?
Yeah, like this is the shiniest coin that we've seen.
I mean,
I don't know if it's the shiniest, but it's.
I mean, they have.
I would say this one's the most fleshed out that we've seen so far.
I mean, the studio that's behind it, which is
we'll have to wait until we can talk about it.
Damn it! What's the studio? What is the damn studio that's behind it?
Wayfinder's
studio was I thought it was NCSoft.
No. It's Airship. It's the same people that published. The publisher of it is people that did Warframe.
It's Digital Extreme.
Digital Extreme is the publisher. I think it's like something Airship.
Airshift or Airship Syndicate. They made Ruined King, Darksiders, Genesis, and Battle Chasers.
Like
Chasers, that was it. Yeah,
their games are not bad, and they have chops, and the publisher has chops, and they know how to have a live service game. I think the biggest thing that scares me away from this and whatever else is like, this reminds me of like the 1,000 League of Legends clones that we get, right? Like we get a billion, Royale, games, 1,000 fucking, class-based shooters. Like me and Scruffy, what was the Super People? Then it was, what was the one we just played? That fucking shitty, I don't know. Not Caliber, the other one. Veiled Experts, right?
Veiled Experts.
Veiled Experts.
Yeah. So where I think this game needs it to continue to succeed is they need to pump out classes or characters almost like how League does it, where it's just like this constant progression of like, oh, I want to grab that new character. Oh, I want to grab that new character.
So I got.
But what's going to happen though is it's going to follow every other system with season-based content and battle pass-based content, all that, because that's what every game does now. I guarantee you this one's going to be the same.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to be good. So I don't know, chat. You guys can check it out on the 20th. They're going to have their news, and we'll see.
Do we know if this is going to be free to play, or have they not announced that yet?
It's free to play.
It is going to be. Okay.
Yeah, it's a free to play game.
I don't know. We'll see.
Some other news that is out there is the Baldur's Gate stuff. Let's talk about Baldur's Gate 3 because
I know you've been we've been waiting to talk about this.
Bro, this is wild to me, and this kind of continues, not to reopen that fucking door of what we just talked about for almost an hour and a half, but This headline right here threw me for a fucking loop. I was like, are you serious? This is what's gonna happen, huh? So if you're buying, myself, Scruffy, and Enigma early access this game when it first came out and have played it, and this game is by far amazing. Like it's a if you love D&D, like it is the closest to 5e that you're gonna get, like as far as like, you know, out of this and Divinity. This is a phenomenal game. It is immaculate. As far as, well, it's fun. Let me just say that. I don't want to say it's immaculate because we could have some issues, but this right here, it blows. So PlayStation 5 players will only get 3 days head start for pre-ordering, but PC players are going to get 34 days. 34 days head start.
Hey,
like,
bro. Just buy a PC, bro.
I mean, it's wild. That's wild to me. What
what is this? What are the developers again? I forget. It's something Clarion or
fuck yeah. Why am I blanking on it, dude?
I'm blanking right now too.
I can see their logo.
It's Larian Studios.
Larian, yes. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Sony, just buy Larian Studios. Just acquire them.
Why do you gotta do that? Just stop, bro. Stop. We're not going.
Sorry, I had to poke the bear.
Well, I got it. The next thing that we're going to talk about is also apparently on top of that, you can have sex with a bear. Well, you're technically having sex with
a druid, sir.
It's a druid, sir. Yeah,
bro. Yeah. Okay, I don't give a shit what you want to call it. The fact is that is a bear having sex with another person.
I thought you would be excited for this, Sin, because you can finally embrace your furriness. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I am going to play a druid, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, there you go. I mean.
Of course, I stream on on Kick, so I could do that. That's perfectly fine. But anybody else is streaming, you guys need to make sure that you fucking
just play games with your legs behind your head. Bro.
It's from what I understand, it's a very clickbaity title with the you can have sex with a bear. You don't actually see anything. It's like most of the romance shit that they have. It fades.
Well, have you already done this?
No, but I'm watching. I've watched the thing.
Oh, you've watched it happen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 100%.
He's into that voyeurism.
But no, it's from what I understand, it's like all the rest of the romance shit where you have sex with them, it just fades to black, and it's like
it just insinuates what happens.
Yeah. It's not that. It's roar.
Yeah.
I don't
pretty
know,
good at
man.
that.
Like,
he's pretty good at that, man. I'm gonna need you to do that if we play this game. Like, if you're a druid and you're in bear form, I need you to only talk in roars. Okay?
Sure. I'll do my yes, gang.
Sin needs to
You've been watching
this
this
up on the
TikTok
side, man.
stream way too much, my guy.
It was an Instagram live. Thank you. It wasn't. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I have no idea where it was, but anyway, where my brain
He's lost
breaks
for words.
where my brain breaks with this is, why does it need to be a thing? Like, I'm all for like immersion. I'm all for, you know, D&D and, you know, doing your thing and like feeling your character and being your, but like
there was already a lot of weird stuff in Baldur's Gate, though.
You know what, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, you know what makes me laugh about this, right, is that Sin draws the line here, right? But when we were talking about the boys, when we were talking about the boys season 3 and we were talking about the introductory on that, he was like, yeah, that's great, this is awesome, I love it, man.
That is so ingrained in my head.
That's because he's like,
this is where I draw the line, right?
That movie or that TV series set the bar like at a certain point when the very first episode, yes, it set the bear when you first see it. Baldur's Gate, I've never been in a situation where I've had to have sex with an animal. Like, I don't. To be
completely honest, we haven't. To be completely honest, we haven't really seen all the rest of the shit that you could probably do with Baldur's Gate. That might not be the worst.
Baldur's Gate already had a lot of really weird stuff, if I remember correctly. I mean, I know one time Sin was trying to touch me in my sleep. In game.
Yeah, that's very true.
That was. He doesn't know about it whenever I did it in real life.
He's trying to give you the good suck, bro.
He was trying to suck me in my sleep, bro. I was like, what the hell, man?
And that's the character. Like, the character that's there, that character is supposed to be kind of this like vampire-esque.
It's a vampire.
Yeah,
it's a vampire.
They're you know, I don't know, man, but Yeah, I don't know. It's just as weird to
I
me.
like how he plays it off, but man, when we were playing it, he was fucking into it. He was like,
He was,
I'm coming for that booty.
I was so uncomfortable. I needed. It was right here. It was right here.
Show me that proof, because my VOD does not exist, and so without proof, it would never happen.
It's because you deleted it.
Yep. So I don't know. It's just weird.
It is weird.
It's just fucking weird.
It's Larian Studio again. Like
yeah.
they've had some weird shit in the past. This does not surprise me. It shocks me, like why it's a thing, but it doesn't surprise me. Like it's weird. The Larian Studios is fucking weird. They make great games, but they're fucking weird. I think it's their lead developer sometimes like goes into like developer meetings in a full plated suit of armor. So
it's kind of like what's the one dude who always puts like penises in his game?
George R. Martin.
Oh yeah. He's got a weird mind too, man.
I'm also just trying to read through this one thing that we talked about here, which is the 3-day and 34-day. So is this basically saying that people that buy the pre-order of the PlayStation version have to wait until
probably the original date that
September
it was releasing? 6th? Yeah.
Is that? I'm just trying to read through this. Like,
when's it supposed to come out?
The original release date would have been July, or the new one is July 31st, right?
That's the August 3rd is when they set the release date. So Baldur's Gate 3 is making a rare bold choice, moving up its release date by a full month to August 3rd, giving players 5 weeks to play the game before Starfield arrives. And Larian has now clarified a confusing bit of information about the new release date, which is when players who pre-order the digital deluxe edition will actually be able to start the promised version 72 hours early access to just Act 1. But it turns out that the PlayStation 5 version of the game will release on September 6th. That's weird.
So the PS5 version is getting access to Act 1 a whole entire month, like 2 months before everybody else gets access to the whole game.
The PC version is. The PlayStation isn't getting it until September 6th.
They're only getting it 72 hours before.
Yeah. I mean I don't know. Like we already have. If you bought early access into it, you already have access to Act 1 on the PC.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I've had access.
So
to
like
Act 1
I don't. Yeah, I don't understand why they're making why they're even pointing out that you get a 34-day head start. Like I would assume that if you already have access to it on the PC, you already have access to it. Like that's, unless they're saying that like the 34-day head start is like PC gets 34 days of full access.
If you see it here, it says right in this line, it basically says that it may be disappointing to get a 72-hour head start on PC, but depending on how you look at it, technically PC players will get it 34 days in advance, but really 3 years head start if you include early access launch. So
I don't know. That's weird.
So I don't even know why they clarified that the PC players are getting, because like they've had 3 years, exactly like I said. Like we've had 3 years of early access on Act 1.
Yeah.
Like
anyway,
the ultimate head start. Just buy a PC. There you go.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Well, one game that has not had a head start on at least on VR is now going to be coming to VR. So Roblox. I got to work on these transitions. This is rough.
That's terrible, man.
Roblox. I don't know if anybody on this podcast necessarily cares, but it's news. It's a big deal. It's one of the biggest games in the fucking world. Roblox is coming to VR, or at least the Quest VR.
Cool.
Who cares?
Yeah. Bill,
do people still play Roblox? Like, is that a thing?
Oh my god! Yes,
yeah, it's huge.
I didn't think that was even still a thing. Like, I knew it was popular with like children, but I do like adults actually play Roblox.
Yes, wow, it's huge, man.
Dude, some of the mods that come out of Roblox is fucking wild.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there is really impressive stuff that modders do in that game, or like developers really, because they develop their own game with their engine pretty much in Roblox itself. There's Call of Duty competitors in Roblox.
Sure.
Yeah, there's
I'm not even lying, Enigma.
No, I believe you, dude. I'm just saying.
It's really crazy.
It's like Nintendo. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
You can also get Kim Kardashian and her and Ray J's videotape in Roblox.
Nice.
If you want. I think the thing that I'm most sick and tired of is I'm sick and tired of BattleBit being referred to as a fucking Roblox shooter. Because
I have seen that.
It is not.
It is not Roblox at all.
I know. Every time I play, I'm like, I have to reiterate, like, this is not Roblox. Like, it's so much better.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, if you have a VR or MetaQuest, and you want to play Roblox, you will be able
There's gonna be some
soon.
crazy little kids on there, man. Crazy little shits just running around.
Speaking of crazy little kids, I've been seeing way too many fucking BattleBit remastered fucking montages of people just being on all the Adderall, just
on the VoIP.
Bro.
Yeah,
some of them
kicking all of
though.
the 9-to-5 workers' asses. Just they don't even have a chance, dude. They don't even know they're dead until like 5 seconds later.
That one, I think I know which one you're talking about. I saw it on Twitter today as well. Dude. That one to me really, I have to be like a little sus about that because like he was flicking to things so accurately that I'm like, there's no fucking way.
There's 100% hackers
and he
in the
does
game.
the fucking head, like the lean shimmy too.
Yeah,
it was all like.
I know he's a pro. He's like a 100.
There's a few clips in there where it was like showing mouse movement and stuff too, like while he was doing it.
Even the mouse movement, I'm like looking at it and I'm just like, there's no like that flick was so accurate and it just like stopped dead on the dude's head, like directly in the middle of it.
Here's what I will say, man. They are no joke about banning the shit out of some people for cheating.
They aren't.
They are.
It is so fun to literally go into a match and just watch like
it's not a wall, literally.
The hilarious thing is it's
are
not
they doing
just
the siege route where they have the public ban list?
Yes,
they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it shows them the
it's always going, but it comes in huge waves at sometimes. It's like a tsunami hits your screen and just ban. It's amazing.
It's fucking nuts, dude. And they're fast on it too, because like I've reported people that like the one thing I really wish that they would change about this game is the startup is way too long. Like it's like 45 seconds. And
it's long, and it's worse because everyone's screaming in their mics.
Yeah, they all. It's like,
don't get me wrong, I love the VoIP.
Mic.
I think the VoIP is a lot of fun, but in the start, it is rough. It's like it's like when you drop into like a battle royale lobby. Remember like the old days thing with like Arma 3 or PUBG? Yeah, you drop into like that starting zone.
Imagine
everybody's just screaming.
Imagine in PUBG lobbies if everybody was forced to spawn in the exact same spot.
Yeah,
and everybody's mic is just on. Like that is what this is.
I guess we're talking about BattleBit now, but we don't have to go on too much longer. But the cool thing is too with the report system is when you report somebody, like somebody was spamming their mic and I clicked on them, it already had stated 2 other people, anonymous people, have reported this user for mic spamming,
and they're quick. So they're quick to ban them.
It's cool to see that too. That like I'm not the only one reporting like these insensitive people. Like
I hate people playing music, bro. I can't stand the fucking people that just run around playing music.
It depends to me if they're doing it all the time, but if it's like a soundboard, they do it like.
No. Like these are people that are like playing fucking Spotify.
I know who you're talking about, or like the guys with just hot miking, just.
Yeah, dude. I had a guy in one of my games that legitimately was. I swear to God, I think their like little brother or sister was getting their ass tore up for fucking breaking a plate. Like, I guess it was. From the context that I got, it was like because I heard the entire conversation and I followed this person because I just wanted. At that point, I was just like intrigued about what it was.
Interesting.
Apparently, the kid had like the mom had this like plate from like their great grandmother that was like handed down from generation to generation to generation, and apparently he put it in the microwave and cooked chicken nuggets on it and got the plate out of the microwave that was too fucking hot and then dropped it on the floor and busted it into a billion pieces. And then I heard him getting his ass beat, and I'm just like, man. At that point, I was like, I don't know if I want to report this dude or like
the shit, bro.
Like
the shit you do for chicken nuggets, man. I'm just saying.
Man.
But it's
a great time though, overall.
Yeah. So going into quick hits, this is where we talk about the little bits of news that needs to
The
kind
little
of come out.
guys.
Yeah, it's the little guys. It's
For
the
the little
small
guys.
It's the small streamer news. So you know, obviously we had the Steam Deck come out, wild success. And so then Asus jumped on the train and decided to come out with the Asus ROG Ally. We know a few people in our chats that actually have the Asus ROG Ally. I was actually
It's pretty good.
Interested. Well, so I've heard ups and downs
until you realize
Yeah.
that they somehow made a worse battery than the Steam Deck, which was already horrible.
And
Yeah,
that's
so
what this is about, right?
No, so no. So that's one of the issues. The other issue that is plaguing it is the fact that their thermal, which I don't grasp. Like, how do you not make sure that something that is a pocket PC that has to like really pump out this stuff is not like doesn't have the proper thermal, like, you know, heating and venting.
Yeah.
So
why can't you be like the most amazing console, the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
Like
Sorry, buddy, we get that you like the Switch. You don't have to rub it in all the time.
But
jeez, Nintendo
the
fanboys.
award-winning Nintendo Switch, man. Like, come on, man.
So if you do own one of these things, you need to be on the lookout, because there is an issue where it will overheat, and actually it overheats to the point that the spot where the SD card reader is at will expand and your SD card will move. And to the point that it actually will slip out and fall into the system itself.
Wow.
So and there's no way to get the card out unless you unscrew everything and take the system apart,
which voids your warranty.
And then you can't. So there's a big issue with that, as well as their operating system. Supposedly, like, they're having quite a bit of problems where it's just like it's not functioning properly. It's blue screening. So you know, I'm not shitting on it. Like, these are all things that they can. Well, okay, the blue screening they can patch. The heat system, the heating, they can't, like, that's not you can't patch that. That's not a patch thing. That's a hardware problem. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it is an issue. Razer has also, if you guys have a you know, a Razer account or anything like that, you guys need to be on the lookout. Just, you know, you might want to check with your security, you know, companies that you might have, or people that monitor like your personal information. But they were hit with a massive breach. And so they're investigating how big this was, but it was confirmed that they did have a breach that were going after emails and passcodes and, you know, personal information and all that kind of stuff. So no credit card information, nothing like that was taken, at least from what they've said so far, but there was a breach when it came to their email and password. So just be on the lookout for that. Vampire Survivors, I'm actually kind of excited about this one. So Vampire Survivors, we've talked about quite a bit. You know, obviously we have said that it went to phones, and then it went to you know, it's going over to the Switch, or I think it's actually already on the Switch, or comes in on August. But
I don't know, Enigma, is it on the Switch?
Yeah,
I'll check. I'll check.
He's been playing on the Switch this entire time.
I legitimately have, yeah.
But it is, new DLC is actually dropped for Vampire Survivors with a couple new characters, and they're launching couch co-op in August, which actually I'm pretty excited about. I think that's pretty
exciting.
Kind of thing.
You could probably play that with the Steam co-op, the Steam
share
LAN thing, Steam
like,
share, whatever it is. You probably do that.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think that'd be. I'm interested to see what that looks like. Like, we haven't seen one of these games that has done multiplayer yet, so that's that's new for that. And again, kudos to this dude, the one guy that's doing this, to just like develop, just being like, you know what,
it's
I'm gonna
the
keep
little guys, man.
Like,
it's the little guys.
The game sold for fucking like $2 and whatever else. I think his deals.
Just so you guys know, Vampire Survivors is not on the Switch yet. Terrible game. It's not on the Switch. Not on the best console ever.
Wow, too bad.
Yeah.
Dude,
I like this art.
I love that Bill. I love that Bill is getting such a crack right now. It's just like, yes.
I wonder. You know, I you know what I'm gonna do next time is
maybe we are in the right universe.
I am gonna get a little Nintendo hat, and I'm gonna put it on your fucking guy. God. Like your little Nintendo hat is just gonna be sitting there, or in your background. I'm gonna put like a little Nintendo guy jumping up and down Mario. So
we've jumped back onto the right timeline.
Yeah,
there you go.
This is how it was meant to be.
We do have a few minutes. I don't know, chat, if you guys want to kind of post your questions, feel free. And while we're waiting for questions to come in, I'm just going to remind everybody that is listening, you can always join us live. We do this every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Twitch. Pre-patch podcast. You can look us up on both. You can also check out all of our VODs on YouTube. We also have amazing shorts that Bill and Enigma have been pumping out. Crazy amounts of content for that. So thank you to these guys. We're on Spotify. You can find us at anchor.fm/pre-patch podcast or any of your podcast apps. Really, I mean, you can kind of get us pretty much anywhere. I mean, you can go
Also,
if
Discord. Just a really quick PSA. If you guys were listening to us on Stitcher, make sure that you guys are moving over to our Stitcher was another like Anchor-esque thing. It is shutting down. So if you guys were on our Stitcher, move over to Anchor. Like we're now over on Anchor. Stitcher was just another platform that we were just pushing the episodes to. It is shutting down. I think it's already shut down. So
Bad, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
Still don't know what Stitcher is.
Stitcher was the Anchor before Anchor started, essentially. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
We also, if you wanted to go to the chat, we did have kind of like 3 more little quick hits. That me and Bill kind of found out throughout the podcast.
I can put this on there. Like
he's resetting, guys. He's gonna recalibrate.
Gex, if you guys remember Gex the Gecko, where did this console, when did this game launch? Like this was like done
PS1, I believe.
PS1.
I believe so.
I never played Gex the Gecko.
I never played Gex either.
What? Oh, it was so good.
I figured this was a
so many
game because like
classic references.
Like you love like Sly Cooper and all that kind of stuff.
It was definitely what sprouted that love for these games.
I know of Gex, like I've heard of Gex, but I'd never played it.
Yeah, it is a really cool game. They had a lot of cult classic like movie references. It was just really cool, man. So yeah, it's gonna be coming out on the new modern consoles.
Well, they're doing it. What? Is it it's not a remake, right? It's just like they're just bringing it out, or are they redoing it?
I don't know for sure. I haven't totally checked out.
Hold on, I think let's see. Gex Trilogy limited runs is officially coming to modern consoles. It's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, PC via Steam.
It's not even loading for me, so I don't know.
I think it's just they're bringing them out. I don't think that they're redoing it.
Just kind of porting them.
Yeah,
which is cool, man. It's definitely a game that needs some more love, or at least needs to be elongated, known, just like kept alive, really.
So I'm down for it. I wonder if they're going to change any of the
text, the voice, because there were some really crude ones back in the day, man.
There's some crude ones, and I wonder which version they're going to do. If they're going to do the American version or the European version, because there's a completely different voice actor for both.
Yeah. What was the name of? Remember Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah, that was so
could you
bad.
imagine if there was a remake of that shit? Like, well, in
today's, it'd be just as bad as Postal. You remember Postal?
Yeah.
They're actually, Postal is still being made. Like they're still making games.
They're still going.
Which is shocker to me.
They don't give a shit.
Also, PlayStation is releasing their PS5 accessibility controller on December 6th. This thing, I want to pull this up because this thing looks dope.
I think it's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah,
it looks really cool, and it's all with the purpose of making games more playable to people with disabilities or that can't use a standard controller.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. Let me bring it down here. So
it's definitely a good move.
The customizability on it, my guys. It's
that is really cool.
Yeah. Which I think this is an area that I think that Sony was kind of lacking in in this field. So
I think a lot of companies are still lacking in, and they're finally just getting into it.
Yeah. Now I think Nintendo is the only one that's left, because I know Microsoft had theirs that was was pretty revolutionary.
Whoa.
What?
Nintendo does not need it, sir. The Switch is already a perfect console, sir. It doesn't need it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when
try
your
playing
sticks
that with
when
your
your
hands tied
when your
behind your back.
when your stick starts to drift in fucking 2 days. Let me come talk to me then.
It already is, honestly. Like, it already is.
But this thing is really cool. Like I almost
It looks fun to use.
It looks pretty
Yeah.
dope.
like
I like the fact that you can swap things out. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And then I think they're saying that the price point on this is actually not bad at all. Like it's
$90.
Yeah, $90, which is really
bad at all.
impressive.
That's about almost the same as their regular controllers. Maybe
For sure.
I mean, it's better than the
that's about the same.
$250 that they're charging for the DualShock Pro.
Oh my god,
that thing is fucking ridiculous, bro. We're just watching. This is a video is playing right now of kind of what you can do and how you can change it. But no, it's I don't know. It's really cool. Like it's. This is what I'll say about Sony when they do something like
Sony's hardware stuff, like their hardware interventions are really good.
Yeah,
that's why I still think that this controller is the best gaming controller on the market, just because not only the haptics but the ergonomics of it are just like
I wish companies would use the haptic feedback a lot more. Like I think it's a really underutilized thing with that. And also too, like I'm really happy that I think, did we talk about this last week? But the PlayStation VR, like the new one, is coming to. Isn't there, like, it's coming to PC?
We mentioned
right?
it. Yeah, it's coming
it's
PC. Possibly coming to PC or whatever.
Hey, that joystick's bigger than yours, Enigma.
No, bro. No, bro. It's not about the size. It's about how you use it, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, so there's that, and then I think what do we else we got? We've got cult classic Tomba. Don't know what that game is.
Tomba.
What is
Tomba? Tomba 1 is coming back. They're porting it to it's a Sony PlayStation franchise. It was on the PS1. They're porting it to modern PlayStation consoles, PC, and Switch.
I vaguely remember seeing this.
So it's coming out to the most amazing.
It's coming out to the best console ever.
I swear to God, if you don't shut the fuck up,
you're the one that brought it up, bro.
I was expecting you to take it once and then be done with it, not to fucking just keep going.
We go the entire fucking way, man.
Oh my God.
Kind of a cool trend to see, though, that these old games are still getting ported.
It's really neat. It's really neat. And I think this one was actually, is it just a port or is it an actual like remaster?
It just says re-release.
It's just a real release. So. Regardless, still really cool. I hope the second one comes out, because the second one was probably like in my top 5 PlayStation ones of all games of all time. It's a really good franchise.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little pink-haired wild boy that's trying to find his girlfriend.
I think I remember, like, I had a PlayStation when I was younger. I think
you like throw a boomerang, you hit pigs, and you can jump on them, and then you toss them.
So sounds like TY. Remember TY, the Tasmanian Tiger? Dude, that game was fun.
It's kind of similar, but on a 2D scape instead of the 3D scape.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
So are we in the era now where we're not going to do remakes anymore? We're just going to release them.
We're just going to re-release.
Them?
I'm fine with that, man. Honestly,
especially if they put them out on disc. Like if this is if they have a physical release of some type, which I don't figure this classic will be.
I can't imagine that, unfortunately, but
yeah. I don't think that
I love my physical media, man.
It would be such an overkill these days. Like, back in the day, that entire disc was used. Right now, with that kind of a game, it will be like 0.00001% of the storage.
You're not wrong, though.
yeah.
Which actually, did you guys see? And I know we're at time, but did you guys see the article? And I need to post it for you, but that shows that, like, actually discs. The reason that disc has faded out is yes, space wise, but like the big thing is that the disc actually only is there to load a microscopic version of basically approval, like approval saying like, yes, you have the key.
It's like a key.
It's like an activation key, and then that's it, and then it's done.
I remember that. Yeah.
And now it's
okay. What Enigma?
We need to hurry this along, because I need to play a game that released just barely.
Jesus Christ.
Exo Primal actually just released. It has nothing to do with the Switch, so yeah.
Actually, no.
Is it on the Switch?
No.
No.
I am going to want to. I'm going to play that though. I'm actually excited to give that a try on Game Pass. By the way,
it's on Game Pass. Yeah,
play it on Game Pass. So anyway, that's a wrap on the show. Episode number 90 is in the books.
90,
dude. Also, episode 90 90 subscribers on pre-patch as well.
91.
91. We got one during
bro.
the
We got
show.
one during this. Yeah.
Shout out to you.
To me,
I think. Let's see. What was the name? Gmail.
It was just
Don't
one of
call
my.
him out. Don't call him
Oh,
out.
okay, we won't call him
It's
out.
just
We
one of.
won't
It's
call
just
him
one of my bot accounts. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Yeah,
So anyway.
he's finally following us again with his account after
It's
fucking
my
6
secondary
years.
and tertiary and all those accounts.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just like that, you guys can go on YouTube, find our show. It's again Pre-Patch Podcast. You can do prepatchteam@gmail.com if you want to email us. You can go and join our Discord. If you want to join in on the festivities that are happening there, give us topics to talk about. You can also go to okay, so all right, and Bill's just tweeting, giving me information. Apparently Extra Primal sucks is what this person, I guess, is saying.
Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway,
Whatever, bro.
you can also catch us on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast, on Twitch, on Instagram. Are we on Instagram? On
Yes.
TikTok?
Yeah, we are.
The best
Yeah, we
podcast,
are.
Both, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're everywhere.
You can't. Well, we're not on the Nintendo Switch because it's pretty shitty.
I'm on the Nintendo Switch. If you want
Anyway.
to hit me up.
All right, guys. Well, we're out of here. You all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We will catch you guys in a week, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on our live channels. Bye, guys and girls.
Arrivederci,
and
baby.
people. Everybody, bye, everybody. And Bears. Bye, Bears.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Installation.